Today I'm going to show you how to find niche influencers for your brand using just a little bit of research, a little bit of scrolling, and the full-blown power of Modash's search and lookalike features to help you find these niche influencers. Because finding specialized influencers doesn't have to be elusive anymore. I will show you how easy it can be. I've broken this process down into two parts that is meant to help you find these niche influencers in just a couple of hours a day. So let's get right into it. I'll be using a platform called Modash to demonstrate the process. They're the official sponsors of this video, but this is what I've been using for the past couple of years. And while it has great discovery features and a large database of creators, it is actually an A to Z influencer platform for Shopify brands. So you can manage the entire process or program on it, but today I'll be focusing only on the discovery features. So I jumped straight into Modash. However, we're not going to start using Modash right away. We're going to do a little bit of prep and a little bit of research ahead. And people get freaked out when they hear research because they're like, oh my God, this is going to take hours and this is going to be so boring. And it's not going to be boring. It's not going to take hours. As a matter of fact, I do not want you to do this for more than 30 minutes. 30 minutes is your max time that you're going to spend on this. First, we're going to get very, very clear on the product that we're promoting, on the types of people that use this product, on the influencer demographics based on our audience targeting, and then obviously my target channels. So for this one, I just chose like a random product I found on Amazon that is not a beauty or fashion product. So it's a walkie-talkie. I thought it would be like niched enough to demonstrate this. And for this, I want to target the Canada market specifically. So that's why I kind of narrow down, and this is what makes this a niche search, because I've narrowed down my location, and by that, with every single criteria that I add, I narrow down my pool of influencers, right? So you have to be careful with how many criteria you add, because as you will see in Modash, if the more filters you add, the less influencers you're going to get. So you have to be very strategic with how you use the criteria and how you use the filters. I'm going to show you that. So the general influencer criteria are going to become my base filters, and that's why I want to have the must-haves in here, the absolute must-haves and the pillars of my targeting. Then what I want to do is I want to go into this section and I want to put down my customers' pain points. You should be very familiar with that. Choose 2 or 3 of them that are main ones and that are really, really painful. And then you want to identify the questions that those pain points generates, right? What kind of questions would I ask to find a solution to the pain point? Because the solution that we're going to give them will be the content. So we're using a problem, question, answer kind of framework where the answer is the content and the creators that we want to work with that offer. So I'm taking my customer pain points, I'm identifying the questions that they ask that are related to these pain points, and then I extract whatever search queries they might use to actually find answers to these questions. And then from those, I just identify recurring keywords that I'm going to use. And those keywords are going to become caption mentions, they're going to become hashtags, they're just going to be words that I use to find influencers on whatever platform I'm looking for. And the last one, again, really quick, don't go onto a rabbit hole with this, is I want to look at my competitors and I want to see what are they doing with influencers. The direct competitors work best for this. So you find their Instagram accounts and you see, okay, who tags them, what kind of creators tag them. It can be organically, both organically and paid. I like to save a few tagged inspiration posts because I like to see how they talk about the product, what kind of posts would I like to create for my brand. Maybe it's going to give me more ideas on like what are the kind of people that are using this product that I didn't think about, right? So for example, the first time I did this, I only put hikers, but then the more I looked at my competitors, I kind of expanded the niche a little bit to adventurers, right? So not just hikers, but people who go out cycling and go on mountains and just like go on all sorts of adventures, because I saw my competitors getting tagged a lot in that type of content. So I also saved a few creators that I called seed accounts, and we're gonna actually use that to generate lookalikes in Modash. Now we switch it over to Modash, and I want to show you 2 methods that I use. The basis of this type of discovery is literally playing with Modash and training it almost so that it brings my lookalikes to me, and I don't spend a lot of time like searching out in the wild, but I actually use Modash as an amplifier of my lookalike search for my niche. And this is especially useful when you're looking for like specific niche influencers, and I'm going to show you exactly why. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is when I take a creator account from the ones that I've already found and I put it in this search right here, Modash is going to find it automatically. It's super fast. And then look at this. My list has already generated lookalikes based on content. So Modash generates two types of lookalikes in this default list. It generates lookalikes based on content, and it generates lookalikes based on audience. So the way I use this is, if I want to find creators with the same vibe as the one that I'm inputting in the search bar, I look at content. If I'm curious to see what other interests the audience that is following these creators have, I look at audience, because you will see that the lists, as you can see when I switch between them, they're completely different sometimes, but it is interesting to see. Now what I'm going to do is, I can also look at this creator, but obviously what I'm seeing, the first problem is that this creator is not in Canada, and I need creators based in Canada. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take my general influencer criteria, my base filters, and I'm going to add them into Modash. And I want you to see that every single time I add a criteria, the list automatically changes, and you will see that the number of lookalikes will vary. So I'm going to add all my base filters into Modash now. Now that I've added all my base filters in, you can see that the lookalike list changed in number. So I have approximately 900 of them. Now, what I can do here is, obviously, I'm going to check and see, am I getting like the type of accounts I'm looking for? Am I getting like the adventure type? I seem to be getting the adventure type. This one has a dog. Oh my God, it is amazing. It is so sweet. But yes, this really seems like a good match for what I'm looking for. Let's check another creator and see, is this a match? Okay. It's actually, I think, a pretty good match to what I'm looking for. So the lookalikes, as you can see, they're actually pretty good. And what I can rest assured is that because I have my base filters in place, I don't have to worry about them being a demographic, like a baseline fit for what I'm looking for. So this is where I go in and I add even more on my base filters. So I can search only for people with an email available. And I can also use some of the keywords that I found. So for example, I'm going to choose backpacking, and I'm going to go down into the section of content, and I can use backpacking either as a topic or as a hashtag. I'm just going to search it as a topic. Let's see. You can also search it as a bio. So if someone mentions like backpacking in the bio, you can also use that in here. So you can find like backpackers. Again, I see someone who's out in the wild in Vancouver, Canada. Amazing, right? So the process goes like this. If I find an influencer that I like, I can just save them in here on my list, and then they're automatically saved to my adventure list. And then I can use this option of hide save profiles to not see those profiles anymore. And then what I do is I just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, and then just keep adding influencers to your list until you're happy with the number of influencers that you found. So the second method actually expands on these lookalike features that Modash has and turns it into an even more powerful search engine. And I'm going to show you exactly how. So I'm going to keep these filters, and I'm just going to go and I'm going to use like a keyword in the bio, because I want hiking. So I want to use hiking to find people specifically that are hikers in this. So whenever I find a good influencer, I'm going to check them out. I'm going to look at them. Again, amazing. They're in Quebec, they're Canada, adventure, and so on. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do two things now. I'm going to click on this suggestions, so I get more suggestions, and then I'm going to open them up, and then I'm going to check them out here on Instagram in the wild. And if I find something that I like, I just take it, I just pop the link. It works with the link as well. And then I can automatically also save it to my list. I can expand on this. So obviously I've brought in a new account. My lookalike default list has also changed to match this account. So I've expanded that, but I'm going to go even further, and I'm going to go to the lookalikes on this specific profile, because Modash also has like this section with like where you can find lookalikes by content and by audience, and this one gets even more specific for this account. So I'm just going to open these. I'm going to look at them. Ooh, okay, ski adventure, all that. And then these ones I'm also going to put in here. I'm just going to add them on top. They're in Canada. Amazing. And then I just keep doing that over and over again. So I can also check the lookalikes on this profile, and I can find even more people that I open in Instagram. And then when I open this person in Instagram, this is a photographer, still a good match, but let's see if we can get even better. So I can use this over and over again. So what I can do with this is I do a combined manual search and Modash search. And basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to continuously feed new information into Modash and continuously look at whatever it's giving me so that I create like this infinity discovery loop, because I know that Modash is going to be significantly better at finding these lookalikes. So what I can do now is I can do anything because the world is my oyster now. So every single time I add here, I can add or remove people from the search bar. They're going to refresh every single time. And then what I can do is I can either pop back in on Instagram, find more accounts, put them in here. I found this account, I'm going to replace this one. I'm just having fun with the search. I replaced this one. I like this one as well. I'm gonna save them, and then while I have this one in here and the lookalikes have adjusted, I can also go and play a little bit with the filters and say, okay, what if I just look at people who have sponsored posts, an email available, or stuff like that. So obviously my list is going to go up and down, up and down, up and down in numbers, but that's never a problem, because if I go like too low and if I say, okay, I only have 17 people, I can literally like very quickly go through this list of 17 people. I can also save these, right? If 50% or 80% of this list is accurate, then I've added more people to my list. And then I can just go back and keep playing with the filters until I find, 50 influencers, 100 influencers, however many I need. The only thing that you need to do is just go in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, and kind of create like this infinite loop of discovery. And this works, and I can tell you it works because this technique, like these two methods, help me find, I think, around 500 influencers. So this definitely works, and I want you to try it, and I want you to tell me what you think.